Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries.
This is going to be a real treat and, more importantly, an honor to do my first review of a film by Hayao Miyazaki. For those who don't know him, this will also be a treat for you, as he is a living legend in the realms of animation. His fan base ranges from critics such as the living legend of Robert Ebert and Channel's Awesome's very own Doug Walker, to even household name actors such as Robin Williams and Harry Potter's very own Robert Radcliffe. Because of the artistic flair, the choice music, the acting, and the detail in his storytelling, Hayao Miyazaki has often been described as the Steven Spielberg or even the Walt Disney of Japan, at both titles aptly earned. Two of his films, in fact, Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, are in the 2005 edition of 1001 Films You Must See Before You Die. And go figure, he got a Grammy with Spirited Away by beating two Disney films and Ice Age. Who knew? Castle in the Sky is no different, and it continues to exemplify Miyazaki's skills and genius. Castle in the Sky follows the adventures of Shita, a girl with a magical pendant who's being chased by both sky pirates and the government, and the lovable Pazu, who is trying to protect her. As the film progresses, their friendship matures into something a little bit more. Eventually, Shita gets captured and Pazu must team up with the pirates to rescue her, and both sides must team up to stop the government. On an artistic standpoint, let's just put it this way. It's a Miyazaki film. This is probably the most fluid animation I have ever seen in anything animated, period. The characters are lifelike, the colors are vibrant. In short, this is as close to perfection as anyone is going to get in a long time. Sub versus dub. There's nothing too wrong with the sub. I like the dub better, just it flows better in English. Plus, when Pixar got this, they did change and added a lot of the dialogue they have in the English dub. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it could be wordy. However, I can seriously see myself and my friends, if put in that situation, we would be talking like that, we would be using that dialogue, and yes, we are all man-children. However, one of the strongest points to the English dub is the humor. More importantly, the humor, the action, the plot, the dialogue, the music, and everything else that makes a good film good is balanced out to perfection. Besides, Pixar did the dub on this time around, and if it's one thing Pixar is good at, it is voice talent. As far as the two protagonists are concerned, Anna Paquin does an excellent job portraying Shita as a very down-to-earth and polite person, while James Van Der Beek couldn't have done a better job portraying the naive, but brave and cunning Pazu. My personal favorite is Cloris Leachman's portrayal of Dola, as she managed to capture both the toughest snail's exterior Dola has, plus the sensitive, kinder side she tries to hide from others. However, Mark Hamill steals the spotlight with his portrayal of Colonel Muska. Well, granted, Hamill's character does have the Joker voice come out every once in a while, especially near the end of the film. He is nonetheless perfect for this role, as he portrays Muska as a delightfully dastardly character, who is both refined and a little off his rocker at the same time. The music is just perfect. It knows when to be whimsical, when to add in suspense, and most importantly, when to be silent. But being a guy, I have to say I love the action. While it's far and few between, it is well deserved its PG rating, though it is no more violent than your average Disney. Let's try another example. Well, it's no more violent than most. Let's be honest with ourselves for a few minutes here. Yes, this has quite a few intense action scenes into it, but no more than any other PG film, and let's face it, we've all seen more violent deaths in a G-rated Disney film. And now I am pleased to announce there are DVD extras. No, seriously, there's good ones. Well, it could have gone a little bit more hard. They still have an interview with Mark Hamill, Cloris Leachman, James Van Der Beek, and at least one other voice actor. as well as some of the original trailers, a French language track, two different subtitles, those for the English language, one titled for the hearing impaired and the deaf, which follows the English track word for word, and one that follows the subtitles. The second disc of this 2-disc DVD just contains a storyboard of the film, and while it's good, I wish it could have had a few more extras, but oh well. Still, this film still gets a high score because of it. Now for the final rundown. When it comes to originality, this film is fairly good. I love how the steampunk world is alive and vivid, and how whimsical it can all be. When it comes to how well the plot works and the cliches, let's be honest. There's gonna be some cliches, there's gonna be some areas where like, I knew that was gonna happen. Including the classic Disney death of falling to your death. But, it does this all really well, and the plot is nothing but satisfying. Sub versus dub. Well, I like the dub more than the sub. But the dub can be a bit wordy, and the sub, I know this is going to get a lot of flack from the purists, doesn't really work too well. I guess the translator at the time wasn't all that great, but which is probably why they changed the dub so much. However, the characters don't suffer either way, and still remain very strong and very fleshed out. So in this regard, the film succeeds greatly. The music was superb, and both the overall visual and the animation quality is probably the cleanest and best I have ever seen in a long time, if not the best looking. So this gets a 10 out of 10 for perfection. As for the rest, the opening brings you into the story with a firefight on a Zeppelin, and the closing is a gentle little goodbye to say that the story is ended. And while I wish there were more DVD extras, this is probably the most I've seen in a long time on a DVD, so this'll work. All this said, the final score is 96 out of 100, making this a very shelf-worthy piece of art.